In today's video, we're going to be talking about the top 3 baits that I like to throw during the spring for striped bass. If you are new here, I'm Paulie. I've been fishing my entire life. I've caught a ton of different species of fish. I've been doing YouTube videos for fishing since 2009, and now I am a local fishing guide here on Long Island, targeting striped bass and so much more. So today, let's dive into the top 3 baits that I like to choose to get onto some spring striped bass. So we are all sitting here during the winter waiting for striped bass to come back because they're migratory fish. They went down south, they're coming back up in the warmer waters and the warmer weather, so we're waiting for that springtime bite, and everyone's gonna jump in. We want to catch fish. Should we fish at night? Should we fish during the daytime? Fish whenever you're able to fish. What's important is what you're throwing to them, so let's talk about it. First bait, a moving bait. It's gotta be a moving bait of some sort. These fish are getting active. They're coming up looking for bait fish, so I gotta throw something that's gonna be a little bit more active, gonna have some rattle to it, maybe some shimmering, some shine, maybe a bigger profile depending on what bait is present. Is there bunker or is there spearing? If there's spearing or some smaller bait, maybe I'll go for a thinner, a shorter presentation. But if there's bunker, I want a big bunker presentation like a metal lip. But let's talk about my very first go-to. In the springtime, I'm tying on this specific bait. Can you guess what it is? An SP Minnow. It's either an SP Minnow or some other baits we'll talk about. I'm probably gonna jump into some, I think make like 5 baits, all right? So let's talk about the SP Minnow first. I've done videos where I've sat here, I've talked about it, I've done videos on the beach about the SP Minnow. What happens with that compared to other ones? Yeah, you can cast it real far. There's different versions. They're heavier, they're lighter, they're sinking, they're floating. Whatever option you want. I like the floating, and it seems to have a lot more action than a sinking one. So an SP Minnow, it's a long, thin presentation, tons of different colors. You have bunker colors, you got bone, you got blurple, you got green like a sandio color, you have yellows. It's just an unimaginable amount of colors that you can choose. I usually like to throw the bone or the bunker color in the springtime, but that SP Minnow, when you cast it out, has a nice wiggle to it, a big wide wiggle, and it's super thin, so it doesn't take up too much profile in the water. It has rattles to it. It darts every time you can jerk it instead of just reeling steady, and it'll dart and still have that wiggle. A lot of times that secondary action when fish are really aggressive is what you're looking for. So instead of just a wiggle like that, it has a wobble to it and a wiggle at the same time. And that secondary action with that rattle, and you jerk it and going back and forth side to side, that's what's gonna entice a school of fish. And once you have a school of fish and one fish bites, it's just game over. Same thing with the bluefish. Let's jump into the second bait that I'm gonna choose when I'm going fishing in the spring for striped bass. This bait is Erica's favorite. It's the Mag Darter. This is made by Yo-zuri, another brand and another model that has so many different colors. It's unimaginable. You can throw a bunker color, you can throw a shiner color, you can throw black and purple, yellow, white, whatever you want. There's an option for it. There's chrome. It's great. So being able to have all these different colors, you have different options, you know, what bait's present, what profile's present, because there's, I think it's like a 4.5 inch, and then there's a 5 inch, and then there's a 6 inch, 7 inch. There's so many options with the Mag Darters. You can throw different profiles for different colors, for different areas. It's very good. It's very similar to the SP Minnow in action. However, it doesn't have that secondary wobble to it. It's more of a side to side, and if you jerk it, it'll dart to the side just like that. But it doesn't have that secondary wobble to it, so it's very steady, I guess you can say, in the water, and it works. I've caught so many fish. I've probably caught the same amount of fish on a Mag Darter as I have the SP Minnow. It's just when are you throwing it. Mag Darter is a little bit taller and wider of a body as opposed to the slender profile of an SP Minnow. The third bait, depending on where I am, is gonna be a bucktail. Bucktails are great, but there has to be moving water. If there's some sort of current, I'm throwing a bucktail in a rip and I'm just floating it down. So if it's steady current, not raging ripping current, I'm usually throwing a 3/4 or maybe a 1 ounce bucktail. Sometimes I'll throw down to a 1/2 ounce. Maybe I'll take my 7-foot rod and throw a 1/4 ounce. And just like everything else, there's different options, especially if you tie them yourself. You can put feathers on them, you can put different colors on them, you can put different threads, you can paint the heads different, you can put different hook sizes. You can even buy these. There's so many people that make custom bucktails that you can find exactly what you're looking for in the exact same weight and colors and everything that you specifically want. And the options are unimaginable. Just like everything else. That's the word that's gonna be in this video, is unimaginable, because these are the baits that are so versatile that you can catch fish in the springtime however you want. Like I said in multiple videos, we're gonna be doing a huge rundown on how to actually fish these baits, 20+ minute videos on rods, reels, line, everything like that. So be sure you hit that red subscribe button, turn on notifications so you don't miss out. We post videos every Monday and Thursday, and we're gonna be doing that all year long. So don't miss out, hit that red subscribe button. My 4th bait, we're gonna jump into 5 baits today instead of 3, is probably a topwater bait. Although I would love to just have a topwater bait as my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bait, there's a time and place for a topwater bait, and it's number 4 in this list because it's not all the time, and when it is, it's the best fishing that you possibly can have. I like using wooden plugs because they seem to last a lot longer. I like to fish around rocks and jetties, so if I'm bringing up a plastic bait and it's banging on the rocks, even in the colder water and colder temperatures, plastic tends to crack and break. So I like to throw wooden plugs. Gibbs are really good. There's a ton of different custom guys. You know, I'm in a wood shop. I could make them if I want. I got a lathe here. I can just turn wooden plugs all day long, and they seem to last a lot better when it comes to bluefish. So like a pencil popper is probably my favorite. When it comes to plastic, Tsunami makes some good topwater plugs, like the talking popper. I've caught so many fish off the talking popper, but I always got to have those 2 baits in my bag with me. So we went through SP Minnow, Mag Darter, Bucktail, and a topwater bait, and then number 5 is going to be a soft plastic swim bait. Soft plastic swim baits catch fish all over the country, all over the world, freshwater, saltwater. They're probably the closest mimic to a live bait fish that we have. It has that nice soft tail where it's just going back and forth like a bait fish. There's different sizes, different profiles, thick, thin, small, spearing profiles. There's some baits that have the exact live colors, so like live patterns printed onto them. One of my favorite is the 6th Sense Divine Swim Bait. There's so many options. I like fishing light tackle a lot, so I'll throw a lot of the bass fishing, or in saltwater it's technically considered finesse fishing swim baits. 2.7, 3.2, 3.5, 3.8, 4.3 in swim baits, and 6th Sense has 5.3, I believe. So there's a range there that I can fish, and lots of really good colors. One of the best colors that I found if you're looking for soft plastic swim baits are whites and like a pearl color or a shad color with that blue top. Well guys, I hope this video helps you choose what baits you need to get for the upcoming fishing season. I have caught so many fish on all of these baits. These are my go-tos for the spring. They're always in my bag. If you book a trip, you can look inside the bag and be like, wow, those are actually what he has. He's not just saying all these things. I will link everything that I mentioned in this video down below. These are Amazon links, probably Bass Pro, Tackle Direct, stuff like that, where you can find all of these baits for a decent price, or you can go to your local tackle shop. I read all of your comments. I try to reply to every single one. If you want to see a video specifically on something you want to learn about, comment that down below, or just comment something. I'll try to get it inside a video just like this. If you're new to this channel, hit that red subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you get notified every time we upload, every Monday and Thursday. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Stay real, smooch and release, and have some fun on the water. I'll see you next time.